would actually end up in the upper bracket and the loser lower bracket. But that's a lot to think about if you're a player. So if you're an IG or a VP player, I'm sure you're just looking at this and looking at your opponent and you just want to play your Dota game. We're going to start with a pretty standard opening. We're having the Night Stalker.
Are we watching the last game?
Yeah, it feels like it.
It's the same opener, except for the fact that the Batrider was picked up first and the Lycan second into a Night Stalker. But yeah, I mean, solid heroes overall. I think that after the first phase is when things are going to be a bit more diverse than we saw in the last match. I'm not sure how IG feel about Oracle, or if they're going to ban it or whatever because they have the Batrider. I'm sure VP play it though.
Draskell, do you think that like Batrider Night Stalker is just too strong of a duo to give up?
Together, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's the thing, is like we're looking at this, last time it was Batrider first pick, right? And then they counterpicked it with the Night Stalker. But here it's like they pick Batrider into Night Stalker.
Yeah,
that doesn't feel good, but at the same time I think it could be worse, you know?
The combination of the two is certainly really hard to play into, because not only are you giving them the vision advantage, you're giving them one of the best initiators in Dota and has been for like the past 6 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, the combination of the two together seems pretty tough to deal with. You kind of have to pick heroes to directly address the Batrider, I think, in that case. I mean, there are heroes like that exist, like Nyx Assassin and your Oracles, your Commanders, your Abaddons, but you don't really ever want to be completely reactionary, I think, when you're in the ban pick phase. You want to try to play as closely as you can to your own style and what you feel like is true to you. So yeah, I guess it's a very long-winded way of saying I agree.
Fair enough. What the hell? What the hell is a Crystal Maiden doing though? What is that one too?
So here's my philosophy on the CM. I think that VP see a Lycan, and they want to try 2 pressure lanes. So having the mana regeneration allows you to consistently throw spells. Perhaps we could be seeing some kind of aggro lane coming out from Virtus.pro. It could be a dual lane. Just having like a Night Stalker +1 sitting in the off lane against a Lycan. You can't really ever like force him fully back, but you can interrupt his CS. You can slow his early game down quite a bit. And it doesn't even have to be necessarily about the Lycan either. It could also just be playing a bit more fast tempo. I think CM paired with Night Stalker is pretty nice, because Night Stalker has very low base mana, but he benefits greatly from having like just the additional like 2 to 3 mana regeneration that you can get through having the raindrops and just a Crystal Maiden on your team.
Yeah.
And that lets you be out on the map like forever as a Night Stalker.
And that just means you're picking up more bounty runes, seeing more opportunities for kills on opposing supports. I like that idea of the aggression in particular. Say they did something like Legion Commander, like any offlaner that takes some advantage of the mana regen. Right. They get a very self-sufficient, safe lane hero against the Batrider, which IG are currently banning away. They took out the Weaver, which is one of the most notable heroes. They get something like that. Crystal Main can play a lot of the jungle, get her faster levels, still show up and try and put some pressure on that offlaner. She could even roam and do that aggro situation that you were also suggesting. That would be a really great way to just win your 2 side lanes outright and keep the Lycan down as early as possible.
I always enjoy when teams contest Lycan, because he has a good amount of base damage, and sure, ever since the Feral Impulse change, he's a bit harder to bully, but he's still not what I would call like a super strong laner. He's kind of like a DK, but without Breathe Fire. That's how I think about him.
Sure.
He's very hard to kill, but you can still pressure the lane because he himself can't really interrupt like your own CS or anything like that. So the second ban coming out in the second phase for IG was Nyx. Makes sense after picking up the Batrider. I guess they're maybe thinking that it would be off lane because they already have the CM and the Night Stalker paired together. Or maybe it could just be offlane Night Stalker, I guess, which you don't see a lot of because that hero, I think, is just much better utilized walking around and like throwing voids at people. Just being a general nuisance, but...
And again, we don't have a high priority of farm on Night Stalker because of the Hunter of the Night change, where he actually gets flying vision, so Aghanim's Scepter is a little less appealing, since you can naturally give yourself that in the important situations like warding or team fights.
There's also just the classic idea of having a Nyx banned when the mid-hero pool is pretty open this game. Because the first set of bans, okay, DP is taken out, and so is Queen, but that's it. Like, there are a lot of int mids left if you want to try to take one, and playing against a Nyx is just a nightmare. The Monkey King is something we don't see a ton of. Obviously, Bobica, very experienced on the hero.
Yep.
I think it was DAC, right, that he kind of made it feel like ridiculous, and then it got nerfed after a little bit after that tournament. But still, hero has its merits, kind of functionally the same, just very good at trading, even against heroes like Night Stalker. If you don't like get in and out and you keep letting him hit, you get the Jingu Mastery going, you can be in some serious trouble. I think the other part of it too, if they were to do a Bat Rider Monkey King lane, that CM is, oh god, I would not want to be CM against those two heroes. You don't know when you're being scouted. Bat Rider can dive at you at pretty much any given point. Both these heroes can just path over trees. Like, it's a nightmare, I think, for Crystal Maiden in this game.
Yeah, I think you would have to full-on abandon that lane and just leave it to your safe laner, whoever that may be. And there is the Legion Commander. I also really like the Monkey King Lycan synergy, because you got the Howl with the Monkey King being able to take a huge advantage of that, not just in his roaming around position, but also when he uses his ultimate, which used to be overwhelmingly strong, even from a 4 position. Now it's still pretty good. One of the big things is that Monkey King gets a lot of tankiness now with his ultimate. Even if it doesn't do as much damage, he gets a lot of armor, and then he'll have the added benefit of how just it'll be so tough to actually eat through that Monkey King's HP if he has even just a couple of items, like Echo Saber.
Yeah, how much armor does it give? Like 7, 9, 11 or something like that?
Yeah,
like
that sounds right. I was thinking it was kind of like Warcry. It was like, 10, 15, but...
I don't think it's that much.
Yeah, it's probably not that much.
But I think that it's interesting because we haven't seen a lot of the hero since he received like the multitude of nerfs. And having a different style of play where you can be more of this, I want to stand still in my ultimate instead of just like hiding, I think is a really big deal. Oh, it's 8, 14, 20. That is actually quite a bit. 20 armor at level 18. That's,
yeah, man.
Whew, that's insane.
It is tough. I've seen a lot of Monkey King cores being experimented with. It's actually not terrible. You have some very specific timings, but obviously I don't think that's what IG is going to be running here.
Yeah.
With Bulbaka on the team. Troll Warlord, good synergy with the Legion Commander. Also, I think it's the right kind of hero against the Lycan. You just need... I think whenever you see this Lycan, you have to get either Sven or Troll or maybe Weaver, just one of those like kind of one-up you sort of heroes, like late game wise, because you don't want to have the Lycan have the superior like pushing power as well as be the better late game hero as well. Yeah, it's just like too much.
I think it's actually going to be tough for IG in the late game against the Troll Legion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Those heroes are just monsters. I think that this is the second or third time you and I have gotten to cast a Legion Troll combination where they just get the duel off and they pop Battle Trance. And then the hero just kind of flops over, whatever it is. But I'm a fan of the just really strong independent laning picks coming out from Virtus.pro, recognizing that Bat Rider, Monkey, and Lycan themselves are all kind of relatively independent and strong too. Because they have a second pick Crystal Maiden still. Like, that hero feels like in this game it's going to get bullied a lot. Like, just... Yeah, I know the mana regeneration, and this team especially, the lower the base mana you have, the better Arcane Aura is, and it's because it's more of like a percentage, I guess, return of your mana per regen point that you get.
Yeah.
And all the heroes that are strength-based or agi-based that have low int pools also typically have low mana cost spells. So, yeah, it feels like a really good CM game to enable these heroes, but I wouldn't want to be the one playing it.
Certainly not. Certainly not. Last pickup here is a mid for Virtus.pro. They're assuming it's going to be a mid puck, though honestly things could change. Like, I could see a mid Monkey King being possible if you pick like the wrong kind of melee hero here.
I guess it depends. They could always just shift the Troll to mid and pick another safe laner. Troll versus puck mid is, I still think, favorable for Troll.
Yeah. You can't really run Templar Assassin in this lineup, right? Like, the TA versus Puck is nice, but I feel like it's too much of the same hero. Like, all 3 of her cores would be physical damage that scales.
Is this going to be the Ember?
Ember instead.
Classic counter against Puck. Very good to get Searing Chains. Can't phase shift it, obviously. I think they have a pretty hard time catching him. I mean, it's... Yeah, you have the Blink Bat Rider and the Blink Puck, but when you have the Legion on the team, if you're, like, in position to take a team fight, you can dispel that. Later on, Ember can build into Lincolns and stuff, and it becomes very difficult to hold him down. So I'm...
Draskell, if this was another team, I would be all in on the mid Monkey King versus Ember Spirit right now. And have Puck off lane with Bat Rider support.
Yeah,
but this
good.
is IG, right? No way you take it away from Bulbaka, sadly.
Yeah, I think that mid Monkey would be interesting to watch because he's kind of like Ursa, you know?
Yeah, he just beats out melee heroes all the time. And then I think you would just very rapidly snowball with the combination of how, like Legion Commander can't really duel you. It doesn't want to. You're just gonna whack, 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 and you're probably gonna get your lifesteal up. So not an easy duel target, and you just kind of run his heroes a whole bunch.
I think duel still disables. No, it doesn't disable passives anymore.
Yeah,
that was a while ago.
Passives. Just disables those like orbs, like
yeah. But the Winter Wyvern pickup from IG is amazing.
Yeah, that's
it is
sick.
A really good Winter Wyvern game. Pop Battle Trance, get a curse off onto somebody, and just watch them evaporate instantly.
Yeah, Cold Embrace, save against duel. A lot of really cool interactions here.
Yeah, it's one of those. Every once in a while, PPD likes that hero quite a bit. I think a large part of that is also due to the fact that Splinter Blast is really good at clearing out creep waves. Because it's one of the highest damage dealing nukes from a support position, I think, in the game. It's 340 at level 4, and it's a very low cooldown. So that hero can just offer a tremendous amount of value against this team of Virtus.pro, which they are pretty heavy in the physical damage department. The Ember kind of changes that a little bit, but he's the main concern if we're talking about just sheer magical DPS.
Smoke out. Monkey King is going to lay out a ward blocking the hard camp. It's a little bit surprising since it is a Bat Rider. But okay, it's versus a Crystal Maiden. I guess the upside for the Bat Rider is less than the upside for Crystal Maiden. She takes much better advantage of that hard camp than the Bat would, contesting it.
Yeah,
so.
For sure.
I guess that's fair enough. VP playing super defensive. Don't want to be caught by an aggressive rotation from IG. They play 4 heroes on top of the cliff area. Are they going to go for an invasion themselves since they're already set up? It looks like they're going to time it right as the bounty rune spawns. Now, Bobica could be the one to run into them here. Or not. He's not actually going to be able to see it. They see it now. The Lyca is going to have to run himself away. And that will be Virtus.pro acquiring all 3 of the bounty runes.
If there was a level 1 fight, I think IG on paper just have the better level 1 team. Like Sticky, Arctic Burn at level 1 is insane. You can get Howl.
Yeah.
That's a ton of utility and damage output on the side of IG. I think it's kind of crazy that VP ended up being able to get so much out of the map there. Looks like we will have the 1v1 Legion versus Bat Rider lane, a true classic. Neither of these heroes can kill each other. They pretty much just stand there and both farm. And then mid, it's going to be Puck versus the Ember, which, you know, a little while back, I would say that the Ember just has a distinct advantage, but people have been doing more of the 4-4-0 against Ember and just being able to break the flame guard. Bottom lane,
Bobica's already taken so much damage. Is going to be cold embraced by Q. That'll certainly help out the heal, but already this aggressive trend that he's doing so much, and they're going to be able to kill Bobica after the cold embrace. Maybe he shouldn't have used that ability at all, because I think he was away.
He definitely was away. But at the same time, maybe Q just didn't think they would commit that hard.
Yeah.
Ramses was in a really good position, though. Like, behind the tree, giving the rest of his team vision, was in the range for him, just able to get those extra autos off.
And now he has cold embrace level 1. Oh, God. This tri-lane's just going to go terrible. Bobica's back, though, and he's beginning to get those Jingo Mastery stacks, so Lil is going to be forced away.
I'm so glad to see VP go aggressive, because it seems so difficult for solo to play like the standard jungle CM game against a Bat Rider and a Monkey King.
Yeah.
That just seems almost impossible. And because of this aggressive lane, the Winter Wyvern, like you mentioned, level 1 cold breaks. Oh god.
I don't think, like, even if the Night Stalker is going to die in that situation, I think you still get Arctic Burn.
I think you let him die.
It's so bad. He does nothing in this lane. IG are just going to be big old punching bags for this troll on rage form. He's just going to whack, whack, whack. And he's got his boots. Boots first, too. Bobica pops out. See if he can actually get this. Probably not. Miss percentage. Hurts quite a bit. They're actually leaving the troll alone in lane. Now, Bobica's kind of reading this. He's pushing himself forward. He sees there's no heroes here. I don't know what exactly those supports planned on. Like, obviously, they're going to try to gank mid or something, but...
I think Solo just wanted the bounty runes. He got the bounty rune on his side of the map. I think Lil went to go make sure that they got the top rune. So they like secured a rune, they got a bounty. Ramses isn't farming for the time being, but to be honest, this lane doesn't really have much kill potential, even against a solo troll. They need the monkey, I think, to secure a kill.
Yeah, they need to get both the Primal Spring as well as the stun and the strike. Now, Bobica's going to lead the way here with a miss percentage chance. A lot of damage on a Bobica already. Fortunately, the Cold Embrace is there. It'll help out a lot. Bobica turns around, does get the Boundless Strike stun onto 2, but they're going to chase him down. Do manage to get the Frostbite in. Lil's rapidly losing his life, but managed to get away with a Fairy Fire. He'll be okay. Oh, Bash on a Burning. For some extra damage, Virtus.pro's aggressive tri-lane is working wonders. And are there other lanes going just as well? Let's see, XXS, Batrider 10-0, compared to Legion Commander 17-2. So Pasha's winning that lane. OP in mid is 19-8. Ember Spirit 16-0. So that lane's not going too terribly for VP, but it is being slightly won.
The kills are going the way of VP in the bottom lane, but the troll's not farming really. He's only got 9 CS. Burning's 14-7. So in that regard, because of the Feral Impulse, having the Howl as well and the Poor Man's Shield, I don't think they're really going to be able to threatening a kill on Burning for a while. And
they probably move Pasha down here though, right? Like maybe when he gets phase boots on level 5.
Yeah.
You gotta let Troll get farm eventually.
I guess it's always an option. To be honest though, like getting an early blink, I think this game on Pasha seems really good because the only save is the Winter Wyvern. And if you commit on that hero, you can get like the Battle Trance coming in from the Troll, and it's pretty easy to kill the Wyvern as long as you have vision.
Yeah. They get the Cold Embrace save, they can even just still blow him up with the Ember Spirit. Double or triple Remnant.
Yeah, that too. Crazy damage.
Stalker, wrap it around behind OP, but Monkey King's already sitting nearby. This could turn into a pretty fast 2v2. The Raindrop, though. You know that feeling when as a support, like you go for that gank, and your first nuke hits the Raindrop, and you just realize, like, oh, this isn't even close.
Yeah, there's just no way. You can't kill that hero.
Like, he is full HP after the nuke. It is just run away.
That's a strength, man. Raindrops, good item. Bottom lane, they're kind of grouping up again here. I don't know if they really want to try to go for a dive. They might be able to spot out Bobica. Doesn't look like it.
Bobica is level 3. Has the spring out. It's going to try and catch no one. Does manage to get the slow onto him. No one's taken so much damage already. Doesn't have his level 6, so he is caught. Killed by IG. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Burning's going to be gone on here. Cold Embrace trying to save him. Bobica's here. Does manage to hit the stun. Soul on the back lines is quite low, but already has the Arctic Burn on him, so not going to be taken out here.
I think that IG are pretty much just trying to hold on, you know, make sure their laning phase doesn't go too terribly. OP's got, you know, the coil up in 40 seconds. He has a TP scroll as well. The next time that VP try to go for an aggressive play like that, if OP is ready for it, he can go for the counter gank.
Shrine up. Solo and Ramses will return to lane. Actually, Solo is going to go ahead and jungle. They're going to move the Legion Commander down to bottom lane with the duel. And Troll is going to head up to the top lane. So they've done enough for the Legion Commander. She's quite far ahead. She's going to come into lane as a level 6 Legion Commander against Lycan's level 4. They're just going to continue to bully this Lycan. I don't think IG can do much to stop it unless they move the puck to bottom lane. Puck is actually heading top instead right now. He's going to regret that one for sure as Virtus.pro come out. Pasha just takes a swing at him. They know the Wyvern's behind him with a Cold Embrace, so they have to bring Burning really low if they want to try and go for a dual kill.
Yeah, it was really fortunate ward placement timing from the side of IG because I think they saw Pasha like sitting a little bit further back in the lane beforehand, so OP is not, Q has not let himself get out of position.
Our invis for the Night Stalker is going to wear out, so wasn't able to make anything happen. That rune pickup. Our Batrider is level 6. The Troll Warlords, especially at level 5, should be able to do pretty well in this 1v1. Not really be threatened by the sticky napalm too much.
Well, the problem is he doesn't have a stick. And if he doesn't have any heroes behind him, and XXS, oh, he's actually TPing mid.
Dive in for OP, he needs to save him. Maybe make the turnaround play, but the Dream Coil's already been used. Back over to bottom lane. Pasha is actually pretty low through Boundless Strike, and that's a big time kill. Level 7 Legion Commander falls. That's the danger of doing that 1v1 and then the swap, because the core looks really strong and everything, but if the enemy team can make that commitment, they get so much golden experience for that kill. OP again, they're just not letting this puck alone. They're going to be able to get the Frostbite to ensure the kill.
I mean, he's still like almost a full level ahead of the Ember, even with that death. So all things considered, I think the IG, the later the game goes, their lineup kind of comes online. You know, Q gets his Winter's Curse, you're going to get the Blink on the Batrider. XXS has not really been harassed too much in his lane, even though he wasn't winning on CS. He's still going to be able to get the farm. And more importantly, he's got levels. That's really what you need on Batrider. So eventually you get a stack or two, get your Blink, go for a smoke play, puck play or two. I think there are a lot of avenues for IG back into the game, even if they don't have a phenomenal laning phase. And their mid-game timing is still pretty strong. Whereas VP, they have pretty good mid-game, and then the late game is, I think, where their lineup really starts to...
These wards that Solo has gotten down, Lil's helped out a little bit too, but he just placed this combo. So aggressive. And it's going to be able to see the Batrider when he's farming up neutrals. It's going to occasionally see Monkey King rotations. Not sure if they spotted this one or not. And just gives opportunities for the Ember Spirit that, with his Remnants, he could make a rotation and go for a kill somewhere. Vision can tell him a lot.
I really like how proactive Bobica always is on his Monkey King. Like right now, he's just enabling XXS to get farm. He recognizes, you know, the importance of doing... Is he going for Atos? XXS has... He just bought the second Bracer. He's going Atos. I mean, it's really good against Ember.
Yeah.
I'm just not used to seeing that build up. Maybe he feels like he just has to be able to live in the fights. As long as he has like Firefly and Napalm stacks, if he's tanky enough, he can just burn everybody to death.
Sure, but isn't that what the drums build is for?
Yes, and I would say that drums normally is probably the path that you take. But against Ember specifically, I think he just wants the Atos.
What about a puck Atos instead of the Veil?
I think Veil is
Draskell didn't like that one.
I think it's too valuable to have Veil when you already have Bat and you have Puck together.
Yeah.
The damage increase for the cost, not to mention just the stats for Puck is fantastic. I mean, he might not even... Well, I think he will go Blink because his Batrider is not buying one, but if the Batrider had Blink, I'd say he might just go for Yules because of the Ember Spirit.
Two-man smoke up. OP. Push out the mid lane a little bit, backs up, gets the smoke with Bobica. We'll start laying down some wards. This one, they're really annoying things. It's like the 4-position invis heroes. You can just get wards wherever you want most of the time.
Yeah, it's super hard to de-ward.
Gonna get vision of both Ramses and Solo behind the tower. Q will claim the mid lane experience. 6.
Dire scan hits, they know Bobica's there. Or they know someone's there, maybe not him in particular, but probably deduce that fairly.
Yeah, especially with OP showing back up in lane.
They need to be very careful. This is pretty difficult to fight into. This is a very tanky Batrider.
Ramses backs away at the right time. Does reveal Solo though. Kind of interesting, this Night Stalker went for Iron Talon. So VP, like they start off with the laning phase, really aggressive aggro tri-lane, etc., but since then, with the Monkey King kind of coming online, they backed it up a lot. You can even see like both of these cores at top lane and bottom lane, they're really quick to just play defensive and sit around their tower, while the Night Stalker during daytime just kind of farms through jungle.
I think the Iron Talon's nice here just because of Monkey. Like you have the Hunter and the Knight, so if you spot him and you have the Iron Talon, you just boom, 5-second stun, right?
Yeah,
it's really, really solid. But I think that it's fine for them to play more defensive. You know, I think the only one who really makes moves on their team before the Legion has Blink over top lane.
XXS gonna be run down here. They do have the Dream Claw though. OP can get a lot of damage. Look at that, the 3-man hit, and they actually get the Cold Embrace to save XXS's life. VP are gonna lose at least 2 here. Solo is able to make the successful TP out, but what a turnaround there from IG. We're talking about Virtus.pro playing very defensive, and the one time they try and make a play, they're immediately slapped back down by OP.
And No one's back here with the Flame Guard on. He's gonna get the counter kill.
Get the quick kill on XXS and jump out.
I just wanted to point out how effective those two bracers were there. And they sent 3 heroes in on that Bat Rider.
That's true.
He got the Atos off of his quick buy. He's going back to the Blink now, so he's changed his mind. I mean, I thought it would have been really cool to see it because, you know, it's very uncommon. I'd like to see how it plays out, but he decides he wants to go the more stable route. But yeah, I was just mentioning, like, the way that Virtus.pro can play the game once Pasha has Blink is a bit different. But for now, because they need so many items on their heroes, like, you got a Troll Legion Commander who scale very well, Ember scales decently. But he's also the hero, I think, that makes a lot of moves once Pasha has the Blink. This is where I expect, you know, Virtus.pro to really come in and try to do something.
They're 2 core plus maybe the Night Stalker. They're going to be moving around the map looking for kills. No one is going to jump back to his Remnant, far behind the tier 1 tower. IG do kind of see him, but I'm not going to really care too much. Legion Commander does pick up the Blink Dagger, but instead of heading up to the top lane, where his TP's already been used anyway, they're going to try and smoke to somewhere else. Looks like mid. So Troll's going to pressure that mid tower. Naturally, there's going to be someone defending, and they'll see if they can get the fast dual kill on the defender. Turn it into a tier 1 tower push.
You got the freezing field too. That thing is really good with duel. Because if you can stand right on top of them, that's the best chance of getting a kill. They have a freezing.
Jump in, duel. You will give away that damage to Pasha. And looks like they're going to be able to take this tier 1 tower. It's just dropping too quickly for IG to rotate back. Have a successful defense.
XXS defense.
XXS.
I like it.
Burning. Nice TP.
That's a long TP. He TP'd mid. Jesus. I think no one didn't think about that until, like, after that. He almost got a second Searing Chains off because he had an Arcane Rune. I was like a half a second away from it being a dead Lycan because he TP'd mid instead of back to base.
IG, now that the Legion Commander Blink Dagger is up, and they've seen that, they, play a little bit more grouped up naturally, or?
I think the Winter Wyvern just has to be always sitting behind someone if they're split pushing, and then once the Bat Rider has Blink now, so he'll be able to go for a pick, I suppose, in this situation. Looks like XXS is going in.
Whoa, he goes for Lil instead of Solo. That's definitely a bigger kill, particularly at nighttime. And they will also take the tier 1 tower. IG kind of mirroring Virtus.pro's movements.
I like the playing together a little bit more for now, at least, because whenever your lasso is up and you have Boboka providing that kind of bonus vision, it becomes a lot easier to get a pick, especially if you know the Legion's not there, because Pasha's the one hero on VP who can, like, guarantee a save. If you Frostbite, sure, you might be able to, like, kill the bat or something like that because he doesn't have Force Staff, but other than that, you really are looking to Legion more than anything else to try to prevent that hero from just being pulled away and beaten to death.
5-5, 15 minutes in. A little bit over 1,000 gold lead for Virtus.pro. Experience much minimal for either side. Boboka is going to run into no one here while he's trying to get wards down. Does get caught, and tree gets cut down by the Remnant. Nicely played by no one. A little fortunate there on the timing, and he just runs into Boboka in the jungle like that.
Well, sometimes you're scouting the map for your team and you find them. That's a I found a moment.
Yeah.
Gives a little bit more time for Q here to be split pushing a bit. This is kind of one of the things that I think you see Winter Wyvern do a lot more. He's probably going to pay for it, though.
Nice. He managed to get the Arctic Burn, flies over the trees. He's still dead, but he's going to take so long for them to kill him. He can Winter's Curse here to buy himself even more time, but the Frostbite actually holds him in place. XXS is here now, as is the Monkey King, who's going to jump over, grab onto Solo, and Winter Wyvern survives.
Jesus.
All thanks to just really fast reactions to that initial Arctic Burn in response to the Night Stalker showing himself.
What a legend. It was really unfortunate because I think Lil used Hunter in the Night to get the other kill on Boboka.
He used it because he wrapped around like this. To catch the
Oh, I
Winter
see,
Wyvern.
I see. Yeah, he used it when he was in the top half of the trees. That's why he didn't have it when he popped Arctic Burn. Because that definitely would have been a kill if he had it up, but that was pretty fortunate for IG. At first it seemed like the Winter's Curse was just trying to be like a last-ditch effort to get himself away. Ends up getting a counter kill and a tier 2. Hashtag worth.
Certainly. Now it's IG. hold the slight leads, and Batrider is going to go back for that Rod of Atos now that he has Blink Dagger. I do like this. I like the Rod of Atos second item. First item, I was pretty skeptical.
Yeah, I saw it in his quick buy, and I was like, okay, it's pretty common for Batrider to buy at least one Brace. Blink forward here.
Lasso plus the silence. That is so much holding time. I don't think no one can jump to his Remnant in time. He does get the self-fuel scepter, turned around, managed to get the chain up. Here comes a triple Remnant. He turns and fights and wins. Virtus.pro will take down 2 1/3. Q, he'll cold embrace, but he's obviously dead underneath that freezing field as well. What a big turnaround there from Virtus.pro's no one.
God
Was that? Did he just
bless
deliver the
Courier.
Yule Scepter? Or did he
Yeah,
have
I was on the Courier.
Wow.
That's the only reason he was able to live there, because he didn't have a retreat remnant. That's why I was kind of thinking even with the Yules he was dead, but just deciding to fully commit to that engagement worked out wonderfully. I feel like we just saw the same thing happen to both teams. They get baited into going on a hero, then get counter killed, and then VP do it right back to IG just a couple of minutes later. Very close game.
Lycan is been farming this whole entire time, though. He's got Mask of Madness and Armlet, soon to be a Halberd as well. Is he matching the Troll's farm? A little bit. He's sitting 1,200 net worth ahead of the Troll right now. Of course, the Troll, I think, you would say his items are a little bit more valuable, right? If you go to toe-to-toe, item for item, Troll's going to have more value out of it.
I think so. Yeah, but that's just what Troll does. You
Yeah.
know, he gets more benefit from pretty much everything than I think what a Lycan can do, but that's strictly if they're like just hitting each other. And I think sometimes in the fights, Burning is probably going to be going for like a Crystal Maiden or perhaps a Night Stalker, maybe even the Ember, depends on how the fight really kind of rolls out. But IG, aggressive smoke here, looking at Lil on the top lane perhaps.
XXS. Need Lil. That'll be that free lasso kill. Drags him. Flying back.
This is Roche, right?
Maybe. Like the Night Stalker's a good kill, but is it enough to ensure that
Well, the
Virtus.pro
Wolf
doesn't
just
fight
scouted
you for
VP
it?
coming in, so they know what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's not enough.
I think Ever Spirit's too strong, especially after that failed engagement at bottom.
The
It's level
Batrider,
15.
I think that it's because XXS is still showing top. He needs to get out of here.
He certainly does, because Pasha's about to catch and manage to stop the Blink Dagger with the nuke. The Flame Mail and the Freezing Field for the extra damage. Win the duel, barely. 34 damage plus now on Legion Commander. And this is not just regular damage, because this is coupled with a Troll. This damage has so much more value than it normally does with the Troll ulti.
Late into the game with Battle Trance, that Legion is going to demolish.
All right, no one's just going to run into everyone.
He's crazy.
There was no silence there from OP, so he'd already used it to clear out the mid wave. I think that's why no one was so fearless.
Well, he's got a double damage still. Not looking to give up just yet.
Scouting them farther down. Lycan is going to pop his ultimate. Starts attacking Lil, but Lil's going to try and fly over this cliff area. Bobica has the stun available with OP there as well. They're going to be able to burst down one. Gets a lot of damage on no one. It was the freezing field. They're going to be able to hit him with the Troll. The Troll's actually going to kill his ally. The Legion Commander does get the duel on the left-hand side with Cold Embrace. Saves OP's life. Barely. A bump back there. XXS looks to be able to pick up Ramses. Pasha is going to be let alone. But solo as the Wolves running after him. Oh no. He can see the Wolves from that sentry he laid down, but he can't stop them from just running at him. So he will end up dying to this eventually. Frostbite's just only delayed the inevitable. And that farther up, they killed Ramses as well. They actually tracked him down with XXS's sticky napalm.
That ended up being disastrous there for Virtus.pro. That Winter's Curse was massive. Like, Q played that fight perfectly. I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that VP had very little vision in that area. Because when the Legion jumped, he didn't have any idea where Q was. And then the Cold Embrace comes out. It's maxed, obviously, because it's just such value against the Troll Warlord and Legion in this game. That last pick is just... Normally, when you see a last pick support, you kind of think, okay, well, maybe the core matchup's not going to be, like, ideal, because you're not saving your core pick for last. But this Winter Wyvern has been this game.
It also didn't help. I think Night Stalker, he ran into the Lycan, but didn't get the silence before the shapeshift started.
Yeah.
So then it's a Lycan next to a Night Stalker.
He was one of the first heroes to die too, so their vision advantage disappeared. Like at the very beginning of the fight, Boboka hit him with the the stick, and he got stunned. The boundless strike.
Pasha's gotta make sure he either catches the Winter Wyvern or the Winter Wyvern's not actually in the fight. Or they get the like triple remnant on the duel, because that Cold Embrace is easily the biggest counter to duel.
It's really tough for Legion when you are playing against a hero that can sit that far away from everyone else and still contribute, like being able to throw long-range spells. Smoke here again. This time it's going to be IG. They throw out a scan. That was Virtus.pro scan. Not going to get the smoke.
Troll books it backwards, but our Crystal Main is going to be the one caught here by the coil. Legion Commander is going to finish the TP, but immediately gets stunned up. Oh no, Pasha. Bobica, seeing that TP in from the Legion Commander, I'm sure he just assumed there was going to be a lot more Virtus.pro heroes here. Lays down the ultimate for cover.
Now this Lycan is just enormous. With the Halberd, I love Burning's itemization this game, because you look at VP and you think to yourself, do I really need BKB this game? As Courier Snipe happens here, looks like Lil's able to get it in the mid lane. But the choice of going the Halberd instead of going for the BKB, I think is kind of a bit of brilliance here, because during a duel, you know that the Legion doesn't have BKB yet. You can still get the disarm off. You can do it to the Troll as well. He does not have BKB, although he will soon. And you know that like the magical damage isn't what's threatening you in this game.
I don't know, this is kind of feeling like the... It's pretty rare in this patch, because most of our last picks are core heroes that, you know, most of the time it's like a mid hero that manages to like have the superior mid matchup or scale better or something like that. But it's the last pick Winter Wyvern, the last pick support, that actually looks like IG won the draft.
It's just because of the single target nature of what Virtus.pro want to do with their offlane and their safe lane hero.
Yeah.
Because they just both want a tunnel vision onto one particular target. It's what makes the pick so powerful. Just having that Cold Embrace, and not even just that, but the ultimate as well is going to own Virtus.pro late game. Like, what happens if you're like this Legion or Night Stalker or Ember and the Troll's just wailing on you? I think you can't really do much about it. That being said, Ramses does now have a BKB, which will help a lot.
Certainly. They needed this earlier BKB. They're just getting run over in the mid game. Lycan's strategy is too strong in this window. He already has the Heaven's Halberd, another 2,000 gold for his next item as well. Q's actually close to a Glimmer Cave for a support. 25 minutes, that's fantastic. And we do have the Rod of Asos for XXS with the extra lockdown of the Ember Spirit. A smoke up here from Virtus.pro. 4-man smoke, push through mid. They're going to go towards Roshan from this Radiant High Ground area. How are they going to be able to do this? Oh, nice force down. They do see this. Manage to get the duel onto the Q. That is big, but here comes the first damage of magic damage commander to win the duel. Pasha is stuck off of the cliff. He immediately goes for the TP out, but now Bobica, he pops his ultimate inside the Roach Pit. Ramses, they battle for it. It is going to be picked up by Burning just in time. Ramses turns, tries to kill Bobica, but the Winters, the Cold Embrace is already there. Burning's going to try and run down Ramses, but is stalled up by no one. A miss there from Bobica on the retreating heroes from Virtus.pro. That's still okay, as they're going to be able to win this fight. Virtus.pro's Lil does manage to kill the Bat Rider before IG turn kill him. That all started pretty good for Virtus.pro, but couple things, mostly that Aegis being picked up by Burning, really killed Virtus.pro's fighting power, as well as that Monkey King ultimate inside the pit.
Yeah, Ramses committed fully for that. Pops a 10-second BKB, walks in. I just think that he got the kill.
Yeah.
So he got the kill on Roshan, but Burning got the Aegis. That just marks the end of the team fight, more or less. It was a nice opener, though. Q ended up having to buy back, so it's not as if IG just got that for no loss whatsoever. Very nice being able to immediately kill the Wyvern in that fight. And the wraparound was fantastic, because they get the ward down, get vision of them both on the high ground, and just go for it.
Puck pops the creep wave. Invictus Gaming looking at this bottom lane push, but kind of seems like Virtus.pro are not going to let that go so easily. Troll's actually trying to get a Linken's here. Really? A Linken's? He's just that because the only real single target they have is Winter's Curse, right?
He could.
Oh, Lasso.
Yeah, Lasso as well. He could be
Yeah.
putting a lot of emphasis on just, okay, if I can attack, I'm probably still going to be able to man-fight this. I think that's how he feels right now. And you can't really blame him for it. Winter's Curse, if it's still targeted on you during BKB, it can still stun. Obviously, it doesn't if you're just in the vicinity of someone else. But yeah, it's a tough game, I think, for the Troll now.
A poke here on no one. They do actually pop the Lincolns, but Pasha is there to be able to save him from the lasso. Now the Monkey King ultimate in a great position here, and Virtus.pro need to get out of here. The freezing field is going to cover some of their tracks, but they're going to make sure that Pasha cannot retreat there with the Winter's Curse from the Wyvern underneath the Monkey King ultimate. Virtus.pro actually come back in with no one, trying to go for burning, but a Cold Embrace will start healing him back up to full. It's okay, it was just a half commitment there from no one. He always has that defensive remnant ready to go. Bulbika's so low, it looks like he wants to be able to pick up this kill with the Sleight of Fist, but misses out. Bulbika's able to make his way through the trees, a quick escape. And Lil, what was Lil doing all the way over here?
That is a very good question. I think he saw the engagement and decided that it probably wasn't worth the time. I'm unsure as to what he was doing. I was mainly watching the fight bottom, but very nice from IG. Quick reactions from the Legion, unfortunately not enough to save himself. They're going right back in.
Yes, they are. Ramses does have the BKB up, though. Arctic Burn is there. XXS stands on top of it, but Ramses pops the BKB and hopes for the bash, but XXS does have a defensive Solar Crest on top of him, and Ramses just not getting lucky with the bashes. He's hitting sometimes, but 0 bashes actually went out, and now Ramses is the one in trouble. Radavatos up, Bulbika's going for the kill, and he will manage to not, he couldn't actually get that 4th proc. Pasha, he locks out Burning, but it's Pasha who's going to die instead. The first damage comes in from OP. Lil couldn't quite finish off Q. He's got a nuke ready to go. Crystal Main will actually get the kill. Lil survives through that Dreamfall for a little bit longer. It's going to be bumped back. The Lincolns, oh, it's just a half a second too late before the lasso. Lil is actually still going to be able to survive through all of this one. IG is just running out of damage. No one's going for the TP out. Yule Scepter will stop that one, and Burning has a fresh shapeshift to be able to fight this one out. Ramses is here, though, with a missed percentage chance. He tries to turn and fight, but the Heaven's Helper stops it. Burning keeps on going with his Aegis. It finally does go down. OP, they finally get Ramses. No one's quite low as well. OP dodged a little bit of that damage and managed to finish up no one, while Burning comes back and takes down the Crystal Main. In the end, IG did have enough damage to finish up all 5 members of Virtus.pro.
Man, what a hectic fight that was. It seemed to last forever. That was like a full minute-and-a-half team fight of everyone being on super low health, going back in. I think it all kind of went south for Virtus.pro when Pasha goes in like that, gets the duel, but unfortunately there's no damage follow-up, so he just ends up dropping. Gives 14 bonus damage to Burning's Lycan. Definitely not the way you want the fight to end up if you're Virtus.pro. Also, the damage I put in this troll is just not there. Like, he needs an MKB after his Lincolns or something, like, right away. Because the Solar Crest being put on that Batrider who has the pipe and the Atos, he was so tanky that a position 1 troll could not hurt him. He just got hit like, what, 8 or 9 times in a row. I was a little bit unlucky to not get a bash, but to be honest, even if he bashed, so what? He wasn't killing the Batrider. There's just no way. He needs his team behind him.
Yeah. This is kind of the detriment, right, of the early BKB. Yes, it does give you some more fighting power in the mid game, but you can really see the loss of damage.
He is a kitten, Cap.
Yeah.
He is just meowing and pawing at the enemy and hoping that they die. It's not great.
Declawed Kitten. That's Troll Warlord right here. So, Virtus.pro, they got to find a way for him to farm up those next set of items, but getting picked off is not the way to create space. No one dies in mid lane.
Well, that could just be some tier 3 damage. It might even be the tower.
Yeah, with 60 seconds, no buyback. Of course, IG don't know that.
It's a bit scary, but there's another one
Oh,
here.
if they get this extra pick off, though, Ramses caught outside the base. Slowed down by XXS. Ramses did have the BKB. He's going to turn and fight, but it's too late. He's already taken so much damage that Burning is able to just right-click him to death. Diffusive Blade onto Solo. Glimmer Cape will buy him a little bit more time, but they're going to try and chase him into the Shrine area. They just keep on going after this poor Crystal Maid. Leave her alone! Bulbika drops the ultimate just to make sure that Virtus.pro cannot return fire. They own this area. This battlefield is theirs. They're going to use it to beat on the tier 3, maybe even take it. Absolutely actually take it, since there's still no buybacks for Virtus.pro.
Yeah, they have nothing here. IG just running away with the game. It didn't seem like the net worth lead was that substantial a few minutes ago, but now we're up to 8K. Lasso in here.
Pasha will save Lil's life from that lasso. IG will back up. Mid laner racks by 32 minutes. You're going to be very happy with that. You just want to make sure you don't get too greedy.
Take some shrines, get some extra gold, wait for next Roshan.
This Winter Wyvern pick, it's making the Legion's job extremely difficult, but in addition to that, the itemization of Boboka, like going for the straight Solar Crest, understanding that the main sources of damage coming out from Virtus.pro are all physical, right? And if you're looking at a Troll Warlord who is forced into super early BKB and then into Linken's, consequently, Solar Crest becomes an incredibly valuable item because there is going to be no true strength for an extended period of time. Like, Ramses has to farm the rest of his Linken's, then he has to farm a full MKB in order to be able to do damage during these fights to really threaten anybody. And that's not even accounting for the fact that the Winter Wyvern can still throw out the Winter's Curse during his BKB, or just cold embrace whatever target he goes on.
I'm not sure how much this BKB is really going to save change for Pasha. Because it may protect him from the puck, maybe some Batrider damage or something like that, but it still doesn't let him actually kill a hero.
I would almost say, like, in this case, if you can afford it, Aghanims might just be better, because then you can isolate one hero on your own and no one else can hit you, and you can just get the kill, and then if you die afterwards, that's whatever.
Yeah, 8 seconds of duel, and Cold Embrace only lasts 4 seconds.
Another lasso.
Back on Ramses, down to half health already, does manage to see the Leech Commander buff, but Pasha's going to be the one in trouble. They try and throw out, but what a beautiful Winter's Curse out of Ramses. That's going to be 2 cores, exceptional with 1 blast. Q takes them both down. A Splinter Blast for the ages. No one's also going to drop here as Invictus Gaming run over Virtus.pro, and that's going to be a GG call. IG take this first game in the series against Virtus.pro. They started this tied for their score in the group stage. Now IG lead by 1 game.
Dude, Q God, what a draft.
Whew.
That was a very, very impressive draft. How they played the game, you know, all the team fights. It seemed like Virtus.pro in the beginning of the game, like say anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, they had a lot of tools available to them to take these engagements, but slowly, as time goes on, this Winter Wyvern always sitting in the back, not being able to really deal with it. I think the big nail in the coffin was when they were fighting around Roche, and they get the Roshan kill with Ramses being BKB'd in the pit, but he doesn't pick up the Aegis. That was, I think, what set IG's momentum just to carry them the rest of the way through the game. But I gotta really give props to Invictus Gaming, because my god, that was like